but I was relieved. Not that you would say that, but that there are other people telling other financial planners to pull their head out of their butt and say something with some passion and some reality that people are dealing with. Oh, wonderful. All right, keep going.
Well, that's why we connect, Josh, because you're very much like that too. Like, you're not going out there saying like, I was in the military and I work with military vets and blah, 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 like so many other, right? Like, it has to be about them. It has to be about them and their life, all about them and their life. And you cannot talk about yourself. You cannot self-refer. Stop barfing. Like, and as a new financial advisor, the fact that many of you maybe don't know how to market yourselves is a good thing, because you can kill the bad habits before they start.
Yeah,
if you want to know these bad habits, I talk about all of them on my podcast that I have myself, not to divert it all, Josh, but I have a wealth of information there. And I think you could create a decent marketing brand for yourself just listening to all of my podcast shows. Because one of them is called Don't Barf. And it's about how, I guess when you go through these training programs, now, just by the way, let me tell you, be aware that if you go through one of these training programs, and especially one of these wirehouse or insurance company or big bank, whatever training programs, they're going to teach you to barf.
Yep.
You're going to have to barf cliches and elevator pitches and jargon, all of this. Don't, okay? Because, and by the way, those companies don't actually teach people how to sell based upon your own personal brand. What they're teaching you to sell is their products and their brand.
That's 100% correct. That's so true.
So that that's why the bull that they tell you, it doesn't work.
No.
But it doesn't even matter what you're selling anyways, because understand that half the time when people do business with you and you're a New York Life financial advisor or insurance agent, they are really just doing business with New York Life because people are like, he works at Raymond James. She works at UBS. She works at Morgan Stanley. My wife's not going to fire me for hiring a Morgan Stanley financial advisor.
Right.
They're not hiring you because you're like, because of anything cool that you said. So you don't have to say anything cool. I mean, these big bank marketing people, these big firm marketing people get away with murder because they're going to inculcate you about saying all this BS that is going to get you nowhere. But these marketing people with these big firms will still have their jobs because the reps are going to be able to sell annuities and life insurance and products and stuff like that, because people are going to want to do business with the big brand, not the personal brand. But from a personal brand standpoint, these big firms are going to teach you failing. They're going to teach you how to fail at marketing. That's all that they're going to teach you.
Let me just interject there too. It's funny you said that, because what happens, my friends, is you're going to develop a client base and then you'll leave. Probably you're going to fail. All right. And when you do, the client base will remain at the firm. So the firm will still retain the fees that you created for them. I'm telling you, man, look, I've been in business, Sarah's been in business a long time. Once people get to a firm, they stay, the vast majority of them, even if their advisor leaves. Now, there are some certain cases where an advisor leaves that the people will go to them, but most advisors fail out. And so because of that, that client that they did develop some client relationships are still with the firm, and the firm's still getting paid. And that's why they teach you how to sell the firm, not how to sell you, because they want those assets to stay once you fail out. We know this to be true. It's actually great planning on the firm's part. It's horrible for you, but it's great on the firm's part for sure.
Well, yeah. And the other thing is that they're not even going to take care of those clients. Like, I actually feel really bad because when I left the insurance company, like there was one person I actually don't feel that bad about my behavior there, because I sold term life insurance to a lot of people, and a lot of those people had children. In fact, I think everybody I sold life insurance to had children. So a lot of them were underinsured, and I helped to insure them, or new insurance or whatever. And I'm glad for that. Like, if you have kids, you need life insurance, period. Okay. Yes, I helped people. I have no qualms about that.
No,
there was
maybe
one
say
person,
not to sell life insurance if they have kids. It's insane. You need it. Exactly.
That's right. There was one person I sold whole life insurance to that at that point didn't have kids, but I think she's going to have kids pretty soon, because she is just got to be like a partner at her law firm and got married. I saw her on Facebook. And so the fact that I sold her whole life insurance policy, I have to tell you, for the last 3 years, I've been living with the guilt of that. But now I feel better, because I feel like there's probably going to be some kids coming out of it. And I did help her she got whole life insurance in her 20s.
Nothing wrong with that. No.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that because I got her insured at a good rate also.
That's what I'm saying. No, man, don't feel guilty on that.
But just let me tell you though, the whole life, like the term life, whatever, like people pay for it out of their checking account at direct debit, and chances are they're not going to lapse. Okay. Like it's just a thing. With whole life though, I mean, the policy actually could lapse. And so I contacted the rep that took over that account. And I'm like, are you following up with Linda? That, not her real name, but I'm like, did you contact Linda? Oh, Linda who? That was the response back. Linda who? Are you kidding me? Like I wanted to like punch him over the phone. Right. If I could have given somebody a black eye via text message, I would have done it.
Well, that's the problem. But it's not just, I mean, Sarah, come on. It's not just that guy with your client. It's that guy with all his clients, I guarantee. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't know what's going on. They don't do in-force illustrations. They don't keep up with that. We get that. I mean, come on.
Okay. Right. Well, anyways.
Right, we keep
so my point, nervous or guilty. My point is though, like before you get out there and even start marketing, go and talk to people. Just talk to people and find out what's on their mind. Like find out what life is like for them, what they go through, and then you'll be so much better informed. And then don't worry about like, oh, this has to, and then like, and think of like a cute or creative way to, kind of just present yourself, like think of a cute little phrase or a cute little name but have all the ideas be going with that, and that's called content marketing, but have it be really different. Like the other thing is you should look around, do a Google search on whatever subject it is that you want to cover. Yeah. Because you don't want to be saying the same exact thing as anybody else.
No. Do you advise budding advisors to become specialized in a niche? That's a big issue now. Like I work with XY, you know what I'm saying? Or even to be a content focused on Roth IRAs versus whole life insurance or something like that. I'm just using that for example. Do you advise a specific approach or more the generalized as you're starting out? Any thoughts on that?
I think that yes, you should have something specific. It doesn't necessarily have to be a niche like I only work with vets or this or that, but you just should have something so vastly different about yourself, because even the niches are getting full. Like it used to be that you could say like I'm focused on women. Right. Now women is no longer a niche. It's like, well, what kind of woman are you focused on? Right. Like working woman, mother, working mom, like veterinarian mom, you know what I'm saying? Like it actually has to even go further than just I work with women.
Talk about boring. Everyone focuses on women anymore. I'm like, come on, man. You got to just I find that to be somewhat patronizing. I would say, why don't you focus on women in, I don't know, freaking Morristown, New Jersey, where my sister lives or something like that, but just narrow it down because women is a pretty broad base, believe it or not. Jeez Louise.
Yeah, but like whatever it is, I mean, you might actually have to try a few niches before you figure out which one works. Like you
read more. Yeah.
The chance of you going out there and finding your niche, like just being like, yeah, I want to work with, I want to work with business owners in Cleveland, Ohio.
Right.
Okay, maybe. You might find out that you actually don't have that much you can say that's helpful.
No, that doesn't mean anything. I mean, that literally business owners in Portland, Maine, it doesn't mean anything. It's got to, and it's funny you said it's going to take some time to find a niche. Hell, I'm 49 years old. I've been in the business since 1997 and for a long time. And only about 10 years ago did I find I love talking tax stuff. That gets me fired up. Believe it or not, taxes and Roth conversions. When I'm doing plans for people and we have that's where my energy, if I could care two craps about their stupid investments, because I don't believe that there's any alpha to be made other than asset location and diversification. So it bores me. But when you talk about the tax planning, I get fired up. So the niche, though, I did not know that initially. I was focused on investments because I always thought that that's where you could make alpha. And alpha just means, folks, that you're outperforming your fee, essentially. There's more to it than that, but just give an example. But after a while, I said, this just bores me. That's what everyone's doing. Anyway, I think someone, if they're not finding their niche right out the gate, doesn't mean you're a failure. it probably means it doesn't excite you. You see what I'm saying, Sarah? Like, I can go to anyone and talk tax planning because I get fired up. But I don't care who you are. You could be sitting in a single trailer, in Biddeford, Maine, and you still have tax issues. And I'd be happy to share those with you, how we could solve that for sure. I don't care who you are. But if you're just talking about something that doesn't get you excited, I don't think you're going to be that successful. I just don't, or at least that successful internally where you enjoy what you're doing.
Well, you'll probably be what I was, very average.
Yeah, I could not agree more. The one
thing I actually did get really excited about when I was a financial advisor was I liked working with female business owners.
Yep.
But the problem with that was I was in an insurance company, and in order to really make any money off of them, they had to have a lot of investments or they had to have a need for insurance. Now, what could have been really helpful to them would have been planning, and especially tax planning. So I chose the wrong firm.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, that's another thing. I have a whole list of questions to ask if you're going to affiliate with a broker dealer. There's a whole laundry list of questions you could ask. That's one of the ways that I went left and I should have gone right. Now, like I said, not that I didn't end up where I should have been all along. Like this is what I should be doing in my life, but I definitely made a bad move in affiliating with an insurance company because it was just all wrong for me. The products were all wrong. The leadership was all wrong. Like, look at the leadership. If you're going to associate with a firm, look at the leadership and ask, how did this leader build their client base? And if they built it through social media and you want to market through social media, great, you have a match. If they built it through dinner seminars and you want to do dinner seminars, great, you have a match. If they built it through networking at the golf club, great, you have a match. But if they built it through the golf club and you want to use social media, it's probably not a match, y'all. And hate to break it to you, but they're not going to understand you. They're going to be like, she wants to post a blog. Why does she want to do that? My compliance officer can't stay up until midnight reading all her. That's what it was like at the insurance company for me, right? My compliance officer says she's publishing too much stuff, and who is she? She doesn't even have enough revenue for make it worth it. Well, I'm not going to tell my compliance officer to bust her butt to get Sarah's stuff out, because why does she want to do that? Does business even come from that? Why doesn't she go do a steak dinner?
Oh man, you are hitting it so out of the park, Sarah. This is insane.
You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of questions you got to ask. Don't make the wrong move if you're going to affiliate with the firm and you don't want to start up your own. But I don't know. That's this is how I'm kind of biased, but sorry, Josh, the baby woke up.
Special guest. What's what's the name there?
My children all have extremely rare names that begin with the letter X.
Okay. You don't have
to say this it. One, we call her, my oldest child named her Rainbow Charm as a nickname. So we call her Rainbow. Because I don't let my kids have sugar cereal, but grandma does.
Yeah.
Grandma, I hear from my kids that grandma does. So my kids eat Lucky Charms when they go to stay with their grandmother. So they call her Rainbow Charm.
So we have special guest, Rainbow Charm. Cool. That's fantastic.
Rainbow Charm.
Going back to the thing too, it's funny you said that because my experience, I started off with Legg Mason as a broker, and my guy did dinner seminars and cold calling. And I come to enjoy seminars, but not dinner seminars. You know what I'm saying? And I did cold calling. I just wasn't that good because he was calling to sell products, and I never liked that. He was calling, hey, I got a 5% municipal bond. Are you interested? I never liked that. But when I told him I was trying a different technique, they wanted to see results in 2 weeks. And if you didn't have it, then inherently you failed as your technique. And I said, look, man, this takes time. He goes, well, when I did it, I said, but you did it in the 80s, man. Come on. I mean, jeez. So
that's the other thing. You should just, the only solution, you can't make people move faster in this business than they're going to, because
exactly. Yep.
You can't do that. The only solution, and this is where it's you got to be, if you're going to be in this business, understand that Like a lot of it is helping people, but a lot of it is also marketing. Like you are essentially signing up for a professional marketing career. And the reason is that the only solution to the stalls, I mean, you can do clever sales pitches and marketing lines and all of that. But at the end of the day, the only real solution to having people do business with you when you want them to is to have enough people that want to do business with you.
Yeah, man.
Is to have a big enough pipeline. Because like for me, you know, anytime that I feel like I don't have enough clients, I always just say to myself, I have to make the list longer. And then I have a variety of different ways I can do that because I'm independent and I own my own firm. And that's what I would just also tell all of you is that if you really do want to not feel desperate, like, oh, I got to go push people now, I got to put pressure on people, understand that you're going to need a lot of different ways to market. Yep. Like, especially if you're trying to get into the younger generations, like cold calling is not going to work on the millennials.
No.
It might work on a boomer, but it's not going to work on the millennials. But then you don't want to just maybe work with the millennials because maybe they don't have the assets that you need. So like, I am all in favor of people going out and setting up their own shop and just having total free reign over what kind of marketing they do. Granted, you'll always have to go through compliance, but no matter what kind of a setup you have, but I would advocate for open architecture rather than being at one of these wirehouses where it's very restrictive and you basically don't really have marketing other than what they give you. But then again, if you're at UBS, you really don't maybe need that much marketing because it's enough of a name that people will recognize it and they'll see you're never going to build a personal brand that trumps UBS's. You're never going to. Like, you're never going to build a brand bigger than Merrill Lynch.
Right.
Like, understand, if you affiliate with one of these big brands, they're going to be looking at you like, people that talk to you are going to be looking at you like, that's the Merrill Lynch woman. Right. That's the UBS guy. Like, you see what I'm saying? So you might not actually even, to be honest with you, like need to develop your own personal brand, you know?
Yeah, I would, if you're young, two different prospects here. If you're young, I think affiliating with a big brand initially is the way to go, just to get the training, without question, just get some experience under your belt. So you can always say, at the end of the day, 3, 4, 5 years from now, I was trained by Merrill Lynch or UBS, and everybody knows that. They'll appreciate you have some chops. You just didn't get your degree and start putting up your website. It will show at least you have some experience in the background. If you're on the older end, a 55, 60-year-old, soon be retiring electric engineer, I don't think you need that. I think you have the experience just in your career as a guy or a lady who knows what the hell he's doing. But as someone new, I was very glad of the training I got from both Legg Mason and I cut my teeth at Vanguard, both those places, and I wouldn't trade that for the world for sure. So real quick, any thoughts on just marketing, because it all comes down to clients. If you don't have clients, you're not going to win. There's no other way. You could be the smartest guy, but how do you get in front of people to tell not your story, to listen to their story, if that makes sense? We'll close up by getting where they can contact you, Sara, and what you do for people, because I think you're given some serious nuggets that I am actually quite surprised by. The reason I say that is because I've been around a long time, and I've been same with you. I get linked LinkedIn all the time, and I can't stand these guys. I'm like, oh my gosh. And it wasn't I was expecting that from you, but what you're saying there, it resonates completely with me relative to all the other crap that's out there. And I find it to be incredible. I'm very, very glad we actually had this call, because I'm stoked about people being able to contact you and learn what you're saying, because you are sharing some serious nuggets there. But anyway, let's go back to
I have another nugget. Get ready for the golden nugget of them all, Josh.
Yeah.
Okay. I did a marketing experiment. Huh? Okay, so I have, like I keep saying, I have 4 children under 6 years old. In order to survive in my household, I can't speak with any of them for longer than 2 sentences.
Right.
It's like, sit down and eat your supper. Do you want me to call Santa Claus? Go to bed. It's time to go to bed. Do you want to be tired tomorrow for camp? Like those are because I'm moving at 90 miles an hour. I'm moving on the fly. Everything is like 900 times the speed of normal life. Okay.
Right.
So I said to myself, what if I applied this? How do I get my business to go at 900 miles an hour? And I said to myself, maybe I should try only speaking in 2 sentences the whole day. Okay. I did an experiment one day. I literally did this.
Okay.
So the first call, so first of all, emails. Okay. Anybody, anytime you're in a marketing situation, don't send an email longer than 2 sentences. Guess why?
What?
Because nobody's going to read it.
Yeah.
Now, I know that everyone out there is going to, all the marketing people are going to tell you, you need to have an intro, a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Right.
You're going to have this and that. That's because understand that they want to sell you one of their products.
Right.
Okay. So anytime that you are in a marketing situation, understand that shorter is better. And I want you to train yourself to speak and write in 2-sentence increments. So for example, you're messaging somebody over LinkedIn. You don't say, oh, hey there, Mary. I recently set up Diamonds by Dialectic, which is a financial planning firm focused on diamond jewelers. Right. You're a diamond jeweler. And I really would love to help you with retirement planning, college planning, tax planning, and financial planning. I'm very qualified. I have a lot of ethics. I'm free only. Okay. You say this, hey, Mary, I saw that you are a diamond dealer. I was curious. Do you find it challenging to manage the finances of the business, or is that something that you're already handling? Something like that. Okay, yeah. Maybe that's not the best question. Like, no, hey, Mary, I was curious.
That's what I'm saying, Sarah. You did.
Right, like, but did you? But the point is, that was a 2-sentence long LinkedIn message, and it was about Mary. It wasn't about me. Okay, so hey, Bill. I work. We met in the LinkedIn golfers group, and I was curious if you think that golf is something you just do socially, or is it something that you've used in your profession as a dentist?
Yeah,
and then stop. Ask him a question.
Think about this. You literally are doing this off the fly with old rainbow charm sitting right there at your hip, and see that, and yet that right there was more effective than probably 85% of the crap we get, even though you're doing it on the fly. You see what I'm saying, Sarah? It's like,
but that's my whole point. Is this is what I said in the podcast in the beginning, is that being a mother has taught me more about business than anything that I would have learned in business school or anywhere else. Oh. See?
Well, and keep it simple, stupid. That's my mantra of all time, because when you keep it simple, stupid, it's not that you're disparaging people, but you're saying, we're just going to cut to the chase. You say, hey, Bob, I see that you run freaking XYZ auto mechanic shop. Do you have any concern about freaking taxes and retirement? Well, I don't care what it is. And Bob says yes or no. Either way.
Right. Or maybe not even like, would you be interested in my newsletter for mechanics about tax planning? Oh, yeah, exactly. My newsletter about tax. Because you're not putting a hard pitch on them, but you're just kind of saying, hey, look, are you curious? I can teach you something. That's really what you're saying.
Oh, man, that's freaking perfect. Would you be interested in my newsletter for mechanics and finance, or whatever the hell it is? And the guy says, I am or I'm not. But if he is, inherently, you got a guy who's interested in what you're doing. And inherently, you'll build a relationship with that guy. And inherently, they'll reach out to you, say, you know something, John or Sarah, I've been following you for 6 months now. I like what you're doing. I think it's time to look at my stuff. I think that's freaking perfect. In fact,
but understand that you're never gonna, but he may reach out like next week, or he may reach out in 3 years. Right, and you want to be, you have to have enough people on there, enough mechanics on that newsletter list. Like, it's not gonna, people think, I can have like 10 people on my list, and then one of them's gonna, 10,000, try 10,000.
Yeah, it's funny you said it because I got nearly 22,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. I just published my fourth book, and it's great. It's done decently, but not nearly to the extent that you would think with 22,000 subscribers, and that's just buying a freaking $18 book. So think about it.
That's right.
Friend. If you're out there thinking you got 150 people on your email list, and you have all the clients, prospects you need, you're far, far from that. I mean, you are so far from that. You better be, which is what we'll close here in just a second because I know you got other things to do. But that's why you've got to be freaking give yourself at least 2 years to succeed, because you're not going to make it the first year. I'm telling you, the first year is you just got to say the first year, I'm not going to make any money. Second year, you might make a little bit, but the first year, you cannot think that you're going to be. And real quick, Sarah, I'll never forget. It pissed me off, actually, when I was at the Legg Mason brokers training thing. They keep this running tallies of the rookies, and there's always a couple rookies in there that tore it out. You're like, well, how did these guys do it? It always made you feel bad because I had, it's just you're like, what are these guys, just super salesmen or something like that? Well, it turns out they had help from their dads or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like they're joining their dad's firm or they're joining a team. And the Legg Mason never made it seem like that they did that. They always make it seem, oh, Johnny in freaking New Orleans is kicking butt.
He was cold calling.
Exactly. That's right. It's all fake. It was all fake. And I said, that doesn't make sense because I remember that guy. He was nothing fancy. I mean, that doesn't mean he can't sell, but it's just like, it doesn't make sense that he's doing that much better than me. It doesn't make sense. And then you find out, oh, he had help from his dad. He's joined his dad's firm or something like that. And you can't rely on these firms to look out for you. All right, Sarah, where can people find you? This has been friggin' fantastic. I love it. I'm excited for folks to engage with you who are interested in this stuff. And take a couple minutes to say how people work with you, like what you do for them and various things that could help them. Because I think it'd be important to know that, actually. If you don't mind, if you got a couple more minutes, just take some time and say, how do you deal with people who want to engage in your services?
So my website is saragrillo.com, SARAGRILLO.com. saragrillo.com, no H.
Gotcha. I'll put a link in the show notes for sure.
All right. Thanks, Josh. So basically, there's two ways. One way is people pay me a lot of money, like $1,000 or more, for me to produce the content for them, send out LinkedIn messages on their behalf. I actually don't think this is anything that anyone listening at this point is probably going to be interested in unless you have a brand and a business set up. And, I don't think at first, because it's expensive, like $1,000 a month. When you're starting out, that's probably not a good investment for you. What is really helpful for people who are starting out or anyone in growth mode that can't afford $1,000 a month is I have a product actually for $35 a month. And there's a $100 sign up fee, but that covers like my expenses for setting you up in my system, et cetera. Right. But basically it's a video training. You get 3 videos a month. So at this point, there's probably about 30 videos you can watch. And it's all about these little nuggets. Like every video is a nugget and every video is under 10 minutes long. Because who has time to sit around watching videos all day? I'd rather have my people out there pounding the bushes, so to speak.
Right.
So it teaches you how to market yourself online. And in addition to that, it's not just information, it's also content. Like you get one webinar a month with me, and you can ask me questions, or you can send me a direct message through LinkedIn. And as long as it's not too extensive, I'm not going to review and edit blog posts over LinkedIn. Okay. Like if it's a little question here or there, I'm like a coach, like I offer you guidance. And I designed this product because I was in the situation of being an emerging advisor, not having a ton of money to spend on marketing, but just wishing that I had somebody there that could kind of teach me things and help me when I got stuck. And for $35 a month, there's really no reason you couldn't do it. Like, even if you're starting a firm, I don't care if you have debt, you're starting a firm, whatever, like go walk a dog for 2 hours and get the $35.
Absolutely.
Like everyone can afford $35 a month.
I could not agree more. So,
and it's great content too.
On a $35 a month thing, they get exclusive access to videos that you do, once a month webinar where they can ask questions and whatnot. Chat with you in that regard in the webinar, and then on occasion a LinkedIn post or somebody that say, "Hey Sarah, I'm thinking about this. What do you think?" Just kind of like a a little bit of a coach / guide, like of your own expertise. Is that why I'm understanding that?
Yeah, and also like my private LinkedIn group where you can ask other members questions.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
for $35 a month.
Yeah.
Well,
That's what I mean. Like I designed it so like if I were an advisor, like I would have wanted this product when I was an advisor. I would have done it.
Me too. If nothing else, just be part of that LinkedIn special group. I'm telling you right now, that's nothing wrong with you, Sarah, but these LinkedIn or these Facebook groups or whatever, these groups are a lot of times where the best value add is, because you're hearing not just from the boss, i.e. Sarah, the coach, but you're hearing from other folks who are in the same capacity, who are willing to pay. So you don't just get some ass clown who says, oh yeah, Sarah, you should do like this, because that's all that free advice is just as good as what the cost was. It's free. But when people actually have a barrier to entry, even if it's only $35 a month, that means only people who are committed to the process are going to enjoy that, and thus they'll have more to offer. If I'm a new advisor, I don't care if I'm a second career advisor just coming out of school, I'd be doing this 2 seconds flat. Absolutely.
Yeah, so you could just sign up. People can sign up on my website, saragrillo.com. Just at the top, there's a little blue bar. You can sign up right there. You get instant access to the videos. It'll take me like a few hours to get you into the group and stuff, but it's on demand.
You have your personal. You have the $1,000 a month where you're basically creating content. You got the $35 a month. Do you have personal consulting or anything like that on a hourly basis, or I don't know, a one-time fee basis or anything like that?
Yeah, I do for like an hourly. I do hourly consulting, and this will actually, a lot of my members that are on the $35 a month plan will actually come to me like occasionally and say, look, I need an hour of your time. And so
gotcha. Right. Yeah.
So yeah, and that's good too. So
cool. Yeah. So if someone wants to engage with Sara, there's numerous opportunities for them to do that, from not very expensive to pretty expensive. I mean, $12,000 a year is real money, but I mean, that's up to them. I'm not saying it's a bad value, good value. I'll let them decide, but you can do that. And on top of that, an hourly consultation as well. I will say at the end, if I may, Sara, and again, look, Sara doesn't pay me for this, my friends. I don't do any of that stuff. I'm telling you, when I recommend somebody, I do it because I know them. I trust them explicitly. Completely up to you. I don't care. But I'll tell you, while some might scoff at $1,000 a month, let me tell you, writing good quality content, it ain't easy, my friends. It's time consuming. I'm working with a guy right now. I'm not working with a good friend of mine, and he's probably taking him weeks to write this blog post. I'm like, for the love of Mary, just freaking write it. You're letting, perfect be the enemy of good. And I said, for him to pay somebody $1,000 a month would be money well spent, in my opinion. Again, I don't know his financial situation. I just don't know. But he's spending so much time on this, and that is time that's not being used. It's called opportunity costs. And if you're not looking at the opportunity cost of money out the door, I think you're making a mistake. Now, I'm not saying you should pay anyone $1,000 a month. I'm not saying. I'm just saying at the end of the day, you got to look at both sides of the equation: the time going in and the effort, and then the money that's paying too. All right, sir, this is great, man. I'll put links to your show notes and again, people, if nothing else, advisor perspectives. You do a weekly thing for them, a monthly thing. What's the rotation you have with those guys? Well,
I started writing I was originally writing every week for them, but then just with my kids and all of my like things I'm doing, I'm actually writing every 2 weeks. And I find that actually works out a little bit better because I get like better blogs every 2 weeks instead of writing every week, where maybe not the best,
But you blogs. Put those articles, do you put them on your website too so people can see?
No.
Okay.
They don't. So I would much rather have people just access. See, if you go to my website and sign up for my newsletter, then I mail out my Advisor Perspectives blogs like consistently. So you'll get the blogs there. I would just sign up, because then you'll also get I do 3 podcasts a month. I do YouTube videos. You'll get all my content that way.
Gotcha. So sign up through the website. Okay, right on. All right, Sara, it's been my pleasure. Give big hugs to old Rainbow Charm there for sure. I'll get this out there to you. Hold on just 1 second before you hang up, because I'll just chat with you offline here just a second. But thanks again for being on the podcast.
Cool, thank you, and thanks everybody for listening.
Right on.
Good luck.